Um, and there is a case for just throwing my center somehow to France, although I've kind of decided to go the route of Germany first. So we'll take that option here with our press. And I think I won't be able to actually make those moves until we see these builds come through. But that's what I'm planning to, I believe, disabled for now. That's what I'm planning to go for. So hopefully that makes sense. I think one thing for sure is that even though in the moment I was certainly ticked off about that, taking a step back and trying to learn from it is what I've done. And I've actually come up with a little bit of a plan to get myself back into the game. So next adjudication, it looks like the next move that is coming up here is Winter 01 for this. Oh, so this is the next game, and this is builds. So we've already talked about that. The next game I have after that is a 23 hours from now. And I do have a move to put in here. And so this game is going rather well in the opening for me. Italy is a no move received. So once again, it's just something that is a frustration, I think, probably of any online player is when there's a no move received. It completely changes the game. When you're playing face-to-face, people put their orders in and occasionally misorder, but they are in the game, and even if they have a bad attitude, they're playing the game for the most part, because it's not a good you kind of have to save face, right? You have to continue playing the game. You can't just bow out and leave, unless you want to be considered a loser, right? So even if you're in a tough spot in a face-to-face game, you save face and stay in the game and fight. But here we go. We have a no move received from Italy. And all of this just changes the game tremendously. And, that's like life. Things are constantly in flux, so you have to adapt to it. But it does change just the basic dynamic of the game quite a bit. So in this case, it's going to be going in my favor because I'm playing as Turkey, and usually Turkey and Italy in the mid game are going to have some work to do, likely against each other in the Mediterranean. In this case, Italy is not doing anything. And I opened with the Crimean Crusher. I opened to Armenia. I actually had negotiated reasonably well with Russia, and I went ahead and, seeing how Italy didn't open at all, and with the Russians' insistence on me taking the Black Sea for myself, I think our agreement was that would disguise our juggernaut. And with some good offers from Austria also, I decided to go ahead and work with Austria. And then after Italy didn't move, I mean, I'm going to be able to have a nice corner position and at the right moment, unless Russia and Austria want to now work together. It's going to slow me down, but I think Austria has a lot to gain working with me. So that's how we're going to proceed, and I've put these builds down fleet. What we're actually organizing is that I'll trade Greece for Romania this turn. That actually makes stabs less tempting for both of us going forward, so we're going to go ahead and make that trade as well. And here is the current position. So the plan is actually to support Budapest in here. I'm doing something like this to take the Black Sea. Maybe I just play like this. Although I could consider doing something differently with this army. For now, I'll go ahead and play that and come out into the Aegean myself. And I think the idea is that Greece will move into the Ionian since the Italian probably won't move, and the Austrian moves westward into Tyrolia, north into Galicia, and he probably keeps Serbia there for the moment, probably supporting Budapest and himself. And yeah, our situation is quite nice, but only because I negotiated pretty well against Russia early, and Italy did nothing. Like, if Italy was in this game, it's a completely different story. Like, Austria has so much freedom right now because Italy didn't move, isn't playing. So, it's a shame, and I think that is the real test for both online developers of diplomacy, but also people playing diplomacy, for there to create an interface that either allows for quick games to be played. I'm actually going to be streaming a game. Yeah, I'm going to be streaming a game on Twitch over here on Backstabber in a week and 3 days, and that's a 15-minute gunboat game. So, not my favorite. Gunboat's fine, but I prefer the diplomacy, the negotiation, especially face-to-face. So once Backstabber gets, video chat little boxes where I can pop up and have a video chat with other players, that's going to be the best. And if they don't do that, I might just build it myself, because that, I think, is moving towards the experience that that fits the kind of game I want to play. Like, I want to be talking with people and dealing with them and seeing their reactions and really putting my full persuasive weaponry to use, and having to judge, other people's offers and judge their moments of deception and cunning. And so Gunboat really doesn't allow any of that. Obviously, you can use some fake orders to suggest where you might want alliances to happen, but it's less of the human interaction that obviously we would have come to expect, even from an online press game where you were able to go back and forth and try to make deals with players, but certainly contrasting face-to-face a lot. But the idea is to see if this shorter game, this probably will take 5 or 6 hours, maybe a little longer, depending on how long players want to play. Is to show a game from start to finish? Because I think once someone decides they're going to sit down or show up at Fantasy Flight Game Center, like I'm going to be doing later today with 6 other players, and playing a 6-hour game, I think once people decide they want to show up, then they commit themselves to it, and you don't have these NMRs that I think are probably ruining a lot of games for people online. And to be honest, for me, I want to play a game against really good players who are dedicated and committed to playing. And I think that's something that pulls me towards face-to-face club games and tournaments, is because if people are flying across the country or across oceans to play, they're there to play. And it's an intense, competitive environment, which I like. So thank you for listening to that rant, and this has been Eric for Daily Diplomacy, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.